Peace, peace, peace of mind and love divine. Let's go. It's time to understand and speak what you stand for. Oh yes, y'all need to understand the truth of the science of tricknology. This is the science called Christianity that has deceived the whole world for those who believe in. But for those of you who does not, there's the straight path. And the straight path is the path of truth with no deviation, no straying, no falling, none of anything that is of the will of Satan. The science of tricknology begins with the lie. Those who spoke the lie is a liar. And the first to lie was the devil himself. Now, this is something that we need to know and understand. That the devil is not a concept. As you know from your experience, that evil is on the planet. Things are happening in the time of now that alerts you that evil is on the planet. And it can no longer be hidden because this is how far evil have spread it due to this certain science called tricknology. We like to give all praises to our brother Rasul Elijah Muhammad for giving all the understandings. We like to give peace be upon Rasul Noble Drew Ali for giving us the peace and blessings, the wisdom and understanding to the knowledge of truth, self, others, God, devil, and the divine. We must understand and understand only that which the will of God wants us to understand. When we move through the city, that is not an understanding of the God that we should be worshiping. The worship of one true God is an understanding of your own life and reality. In our life and our reality, we must know where we came from. And if you do not know who you came from, this is the beginnings of you being tricked by the science of tricknology. And so we must understand, know and understand how these things come about. So when we say certain words, there has been enough revelations that you have studied yourself to know the voice. When we become as what we are, when we pick up our full will of what our great almighty creator gave to each and all, and especially black men and black women. All people of the world, especially black man and black woman, both have been duped, tricked by the science of tricknology. The science of tricknology comes in the form of evil and the ways of evil. and the worship of murder. The science of tricknology have you worshiping murder in the name of God, which is a ritual played on the self, for self having ignorance of self and not knowledge of self. This has been going on for over 6,000 years. And it started 10,000 years ago. So from 10,000 BC, this is where you hear, this is where the first devil is born. And these time periods grows forward to 6,000 years. And it depends on what calendar you're coming from. But when we talk about laws, we know about the cycle of ages. And the cycle of ages is 2,160 for one age. And you times that by 12, you get 25,940. And these are the mathematics of the circumference of what we know and understand to be. And if when you understand and know this, they will never tell you, because this is knowledge of self. They don't want you to have knowledge of self. What they want you to have is knowledge of them. Knowledge of them would not give you knowledge of self, but give you the worship of fear. Fearing that which you have no knowledge of. One moment, one moment. One moment for divine truth. Groove out with me as we cover this science of tricknology. Now, as we back, we have to understand that the science of tricknology was not developed yesterday. This is a science that has been woven together to trick you and dupe you as a fisherman's net or a bait. And so those who love the will of Satan believe all in it, and they worship it without knowing the knowledge of it. If you have no knowledge of the thing you worship, then you don't have the truth of it. The truth comes with understanding, and the understanding is logic. There's nothing of a spirit form of God or a spirit form of the devil. These are beings, persons, as you are a person and being. These things could be you if you don't know the right from wrong. A lot of devils have been born from the very first of the devils. So we must understand and know that all we must know to understand, as the devil begins with the black man. The black man was the first devil, just like the black man was the first God. But as these lessons build upon, we're going to understand the larger of what we came to know as the 76. But now that we have finally been revealed the final truth, 144 trillion years have we existed. And this has been the calamity of our unknowing, due to our travels and our workings and our enslavements, due to the slavery of Christianity. Our parents was raised up out of this slavery. Our parents was born into this slavery. They didn't have any religion. The religion they was taught to be the religion of God. But that religion of God is God, the devil. Anyone who worship murder and don't understand the cross represents death, and an innocent man died on the cross. And to worship a cross that an innocent man died on is to be convicted of a murder. And every criminal deserves exactly what they did. So as we understand and know, divine law has no recompense to those actions that have no mercy, no remorse, and no penance. So unremittingly, we must understand and know how to traverse through the wickedness of the wildness of the Satan's Babylon. And through this knowledge of truth, you will be able to be free as you can, wiggle your toes. So once we want to know, this is the freedom that you have shouted for and brought. Lines of ancestry have prayed, and prayers have been answered for the finalization of bringing the truth to the people, to the eyes, to the ears, for proof and for knowledge of the truth that cannot be denied, undisputed, and can never be reproved. This understanding is where all understandings come from. So when the standings begin on how the black devil became the black devil, because this story is a reality, and today you hear them as stories. These are not stories that existed in the past. These were realities. And we must see with our own understanding the truth with our own mentality. It is a mentality we must raise up and resurrect for us to understand what we have been under. To wake up is to know you're not asleep. And when you hear this truth, it will wake you up to know that you was asleep. We must know and understand that the black man is God. The black woman is God. But also we must understand that inside of the black man was the dominant and the recessive gene, as you know, as the Charles Darwin theory. These things was built upon a design of the science of tricknology through circumventing biology, mixing it with psychology, bringing it all into a form of religion to deny the soul. These things are not fake. These things are fiction, and these things are understandable to those who search and seek for truth. If you're not a righteous individual, you're not a conscious individual. You was born conscious and created in righteousness. We must know and understand this, and we will understand the will of our Creator, who has given us the perfect form and the perfect way for all of us to succeed in life. Heaven on earth, in other words, because we all may not want the same exact thing, but what we all do agree upon is heaven on earth. And it has been a long time for us to receive heaven on earth due to the lack of truth and the ignorance of self. And with this being said now, let's get back into the science of the 144, which will be coming, but the science of tricknology. This science of tricknology is what tricked man off the planet. We must know this to be. Before there was a time, our Creator existed. And our Creator was all good. And everything our Creator created was good. It's things that we must know and understand, and that the black man and the black woman has been on the planet for trillions of years. And this earth has been around for trillions of years. This earth was created by our Creator. Earth is one of His creations of heaven. So we know and understand this from the will of Allah, directed by the divine instructions. Everything that our great Creator says is 100% true. When falsehood is mixed with truth, that is man-made. So when we need to be what we need to know, that is the will of your Creator. You are in a world that denies divinity, and those who deny divinity are called non-divine. And these people won't rule over your soul, your spirit, and your mind, and your entire brain. So these things must be protected by yourself, not by them, not by their creations, by their man-made products. Back to the understanding. The black man is not anything made. This is the reason why the creator is called the creator. Because the black man and the black woman are self-created. No other race, no other nation, no other people have and never and can create a black man or a black woman or reproduce a black man or a black woman. These things are in life, and these things are in history. When we understand what came before, was it night or day? These things are the origin of right knowledge. But trick knowledge have taken you away from such righteousness. In your conscience, you know what is right, because consciousness is always righteousness. So when we always understand that the evil that has been plagued on us is not by consciousness, but by unconsciousness. Those who have consciousness cannot become hate, because hate was never formed from hate. Consciousness is from love, and love was created how we came into this world. The nature that you have been sprung upon to think of and be of as negativity is only from fictional movies and books that doesn't exist in reality, but only the concepts lingered in your thinking dimension. We must reevaluate our standing, our beliefs, and investigate ourselves, and see and know and feel what is right, be the truth that we are, and understand the will of our Creator so we can be the self that the Creator created us as. The science of tricknology goes further, but we want to know and understand the very fundamentals of what all is coming forth as to be known forever and to never be disrespected ever again. We have lived in a world that treated the entire black people with wickedness, murder, and death. Many other nations and people also experience. But when it comes to the permanence of a hatred and giving, the least you can give when you have the most. And when you stole everything you have, and then you tax on everything you stole. And these things are only done by wicked individuals. And righteousness is not in wickedness. So these things must have come to public notice, because privately, in consciousness, you already know these things to be filthy and non-divine. Non-divinity has casted a spell over the planet, and the planet must be healed by the knowledge of truth. Without any knowledge of truth, all children will suffer. If any children is not to suffer, they must have the wisdom and understanding of truth with the light of divine. These worlds that we live in was made for us. The whole entire universe belongs to the black man and the black woman. All these things are known by them. These things are not known by you. And this is why we continue to suffer until the day comes where the time is now. We must see and reflect our beginnings, our actions, our thoughts, and bring ourselves into a collective unity of black identity with our Creator and one will. And this is forever to death do us part. Peace of mind and love divine. The science of a little bit of his tricknology.